Famous Bigfoot footage, known as the Patterson-Gimlin film, is 100% real, authentic, and shows a living Sasquatch.
Trail cameras are designed to catch what moves in the wild when no one is around. Deer, bears, and sometimes things we can't explain. A recent image, captured deep in the wilderness, shows a massive upright figure lurking among the trees. Skeptics say it's just a shadow or a bear on its hind legs, but others believe this could be the proof we've been waiting for. In this video, we'll analyze the image, compare it to past sightings, and see if this could finally be real Bigfoot evidence. Cabin in the Woods is a YouTube channel dedicated to investigating the mystery of Bigfoot while living in a self-built cabin deep in the wilderness. With a focus on exploration, survival, and the unexplained, the channel dives into the most compelling evidence supporting the existence of Sasquatch.
The famous Bigfoot footage, known as the Patterson-Gimlin film, is 100% real, authentic, and shows a living Sasquatch.
One of the most debated pieces of evidence in Bigfoot history is the Patterson-Gimlin film, and this investigation aims to break down 6 reasons why it remains one of the strongest cases for the creature's authenticity.
Most people are aware it was shot in 1967 by 2 men, Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin, in Northern California.
The footage, captured in 1967 by Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin in Northern California, has been analyzed for decades, with skeptics attempting to debunk it, while others defend its legitimacy.
According to anthropologist and primate expert Dr. Jeff Meldrum, the bent knee propulsion that we see from the creature in the film would be impossible, or at the very least highly impractical, for a human being, especially one in a heavy rubber suit.
One of the strongest arguments supporting the film is the biomechanics of the creature's movement. According to experts, the bent knee walking style seen in the film is unnatural for humans. Anthropologist Dr. Jeff Meldrum points out that the propulsion method, where the knees remain bent throughout each step, is something seen in non-human primates, but not in people. A person attempting to mimic this gait would appear awkward and unnatural, yet the subject in the film moves with a fluid and effortless stride.
The footprints cast by Patterson and Gimlin after they filmed the creature had a 41-inch stride length on average.
The footprints left behind at the site measured an average of 41 inches between each step, far beyond what most humans could achieve while walking naturally. Watch closely as the film captures these biomechanical details, showcasing a movement pattern inconsistent with human anatomy.
It's obvious to anyone who has seen the film that the arms of the subject are a lot longer in proportion to its body length than the arms of a human.
The proportions of the creature also raise serious doubts about it being a person in a suit. Its arm length appears much greater than that of a human, with an estimated arm span longer than what is proportionally normal for people of any height. The subject's body structure does not match the expected ratios of a human, particularly in the limb-to-torso relationship. Skeptics who have attempted to recreate the film using actors in suits have struggled to match these proportions, further suggesting that the original film captured something beyond human anatomy. Perhaps one of the most compelling aspects of the footage is the behavioral realism displayed by the creature. If this were a hoax, one would expect exaggerated, aggressive movements, perhaps a growl, a lunge, or some other dramatic reaction.
If it were just a man in a suit, he probably wouldn't have acted so nonchalant.
Instead, the subject appears calm, walking away with a composed and natural demeanor. At one moment, it glances back before continuing its departure, a reaction that aligns more with an animal in its natural habitat rather than a performance meant to convince an audience. The casual and fluid manner in which the creature moves suggests an awareness of its environment, something difficult to replicate if an actor were simply trying to appear believable. Pay attention to the subtle but natural body language of the creature, which adds to the mystery of the footage. For those still skeptical, scientific analysis adds even more weight to the film's authenticity. Over the years, several experts have voiced their support, including Dr. Grover Krantz, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, Dr. Dmitry Donskoy, Dr. Esteban Sarmiento, Dr. John Napier, and Dr. Henner Fehrenbach. These scientists, specializing in anthropology, primatology, biomechanics, and anatomy, have independently studied the footage and found no credible evidence to suggest it is a hoax. Their analyses conclude that the physical attributes, movement, and proportions observed in the film are more consistent with an unknown primate species than a human in a costume. Their professional insights provide another compelling reason to consider the film as genuine. Observe the extensive list of experts who have lent their support to this investigation. While some level of doubt may always remain, the evidence supporting the Patterson-Gimlin film's authenticity outweighs claims of fabrication. The biomechanics, muscle movement, proportions, behavior, and scientific endorsements all point to the same conclusion. This film likely captures something beyond ordinary human capability. Whether believer or skeptic, the footage continues to stand as one of the most convincing pieces of evidence in the search for Sasquatch. What do you think? Could this be the real deal? Or is there another explanation waiting to be uncovered? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
Hey fam, ready for nightmares? Check out Knock Knock for the scariest, most bone-chilling encounters caught on camera. Link in the description. If you dare.
Salish Sasquatch is a YouTube channel known for its remarkable collection of Sasquatch evidence. Run by Jonathan and Sarah Brown, they live on an Indian reservation in Washington state, where they document encounters, tribal stories, and unexplained activity from their own property. Among their most compelling pieces of evidence is a thermal video capturing what they believe to be a Sasquatch. The footage has gained widespread attention, even being analyzed by experts and skeptics alike. One of the biggest debates surrounding the footage is whether the figure in the thermal video is a Sasquatch or something more mundane, like a cow. Some skeptics argue that a cow wouldn't just walk casually across the screen if a Sasquatch were nearby. However, others point out that the cow in the footage also walks directly in front of Ben and John without any hesitation, suggesting it is familiar with both the humans and whatever else might be in the area.
Yeah, you saw in that video the shoulders and the head.
After all of my analysis, I've never been able to come up with any alternative explanation other than that it's a Sasquatch.
The cow's indifference raises an interesting question. If the creature in the background were another animal, would the cow react differently? It's clear that whatever is in the footage, it isn't disturbing the natural behavior of the other animals. To further examine the footage, the Browns invited Phil Pauling, an experienced investigator, to review the evidence. Phil takes a methodical approach, breaking down the details of the footage with an investigator's mindset. His analysis confirms that the object in question emits body heat, ruling out inanimate objects or illusions. The shape appears broad at the shoulders, resembling the upper half of a large humanoid figure rather than any known animal. He also takes into account environmental factors such as the surrounding forest, the distance from the camera, and the possible obstructions. His thorough breakdown aims to answer the biggest question: if this isn't a Sasquatch, then what else could it be?
And there was cows behind us right here. And the thing about that night, the rancher was moving some cows out.
Every piece of the puzzle points toward an upright, heat-emitting figure of significant size. See for yourself as the analysis takes a deeper dive into this mystery.
Many believe that this shows the head, shoulders, and chest area of a large Bigfoot.
Accurately determining the size of the figure is another crucial part of this investigation. Researcher David Ellis attempts a size comparison by positioning himself in the same spot where the footage was captured. However, the initial measurements don't align with the original scene, forcing the team to recalibrate their approach. After making adjustments, they find that the figure in the footage stands approximately 7 feet tall and is 4 feet wide at the shoulders. Additional comparisons reveal that even when standing at a higher elevation for scale, A human subject appears much smaller than the figure in the thermal footage. The difference in size and mass is unmistakable, reinforcing the idea that this is no ordinary creature. As measurements continue, more compelling details emerge about the scale of what was captured that night.
My hope is to examine and make an attempt to explain the findings. I think the first thing would be to get a better understanding as to the lay of the land and the scene.
To eliminate the possibility that the figure is simply a trick of the landscape or an illusion, the team reconstructs the scene using precise mapping techniques. Their findings indicate that the figure is not on top of the ridge, but just beyond it, standing on a narrow footpath that runs parallel to the upper ridge. This placement aligns with the location of discovered footprints, adding another layer of evidence to support the idea that something massive was standing there that night. The thermal footage is then overlaid with daytime photos taken from the same location, confirming that the shape seen in the footage is much larger than an average human. Despite attempts to explain the sighting through alternative theories, the evidence consistently points back to a living, heat-emitting figure of significant size. The reconstruction reveals just how massive this figure truly is.
This is the estimated angle of the cow trail, showing a Bigfoot in the location where the tracks were found and cast.
One of the most common criticisms of the footage is that the figure doesn't move. However, Bigfoot researcher Tony stabilizes the footage to show otherwise. When slowed down and analyzed, subtle swaying movements become apparent, shifts in weight, slight rocking motions, and even what appears to be controlled breathing.
But the location of the thermal image is a different story. A short drop to a narrow path, and then a sweeping steep drop beyond the path to the pasture that lays about 40 feet below.
These micro-movements further separate the figure from a stationary object or an animal lying still. The way it shifts side to side is consistent with what has been reported in other Sasquatch encounters, where witnesses describe large, humanoid creatures rocking slightly while observing their surroundings. The stabilization provides a clearer view of the movements that might be missed at first glance. Look closely and judge for yourself.
Just go along slowly. There's a bit of a sort of a sway there, left to right, back and forth.
Despite multiple expert reviews, no definitive explanation has been found that fully debunks the claim that this is a Sasquatch. From the heat signature to the sheer size and anatomical details, every aspect of the footage remains a fascinating mystery. Whether a believer or a skeptic, this case presents compelling evidence that deserves serious consideration. Could this be one of the clearest thermal captures of a Sasquatch ever recorded? Or is there still an unknown explanation waiting to be uncovered? Let us know what you think in the comments. Southern Ontario Sasquatch is a YouTube channel famous for exploring mysterious forest structures that seem to appear in the wilderness without explanation. The channel follows years of first-hand encounters, starting with a life-changing sighting during a solo berry-picking trip. Since then, the search has never stopped, revealing strange and intricate formations deep in the woods. These structures often consist of carefully placed branches, twisted twine, and even artificial objects like fabric and plastic string, leading to endless speculation about their origins. Some believe they are the work of forest beings. Others see them as mimicry of human shelters. But the patterns are undeniable.
Last fall, against this fallen tree were these small branches stood.
These formations follow a unique style that continues to evolve. Deep within an area that hasn't been visited in 7 months, something unexpected appears. Last fall, against a massive fallen tree, a collection of small standing branches formed an unusual display. Now, something even stranger has been added. A larger branch, perfectly positioned, as if it was carefully placed rather than randomly fallen.
This Y branch, right here, is just being balanced on the ground.
Just beyond, an improvised canopy-like structure takes shape, balancing on a Y-shaped branch with a tree crossing overhead. The presence of plastic string, seemingly tied with purpose, raises even more questions. It wraps tightly around the branches, securing them in place as if someone, or something, wants them to hold firm. Even more curiously, another branch has been woven into the structure without offering any visible support. Every detail suggests intent. But by whom? Watch closely, and the evidence speaks for itself. Moving deeper into the forest, an even larger structure comes into view, one that defies explanation. In November, it was already an impressive sight, but now it has grown into something almost architectural. The complexity of the roof alone challenges any assumption that this is a naturally fallen arrangement. Layers of branches interlock in a way that seems too deliberate to be random. The creators, whoever they may be, seem to specialize in building overhead covers, forming intricate roofs across the landscape. Some believe it's a form of mimicry, an attempt to replicate human shelters without fully understanding their function. Others argue that these are protective barriers, marking an unseen presence in the wilderness. The craftsmanship of this particular roof suggests a level of planning that goes beyond accidental placement. Each element is carefully woven into the next, balancing on live trees, leaning against massive fallen trunks, and even incorporating freshly snapped branches, still green with moisture. The structure is not just growing, it's evolving. There is something extraordinary happening here, and the evidence is undeniable.
Oh my God, it's blowing mine because it wasn't anywhere near as finished as this in the fall. All it was, this is built on a massive, enormous Y branch.
Further along the riverbank, an unexpected discovery brings even more questions.
And again, this is along the same river where my teddy bear showed up, where the fire came through, where I found about 15 structures all in that one particular area.
The site where a teddy bear once mysteriously appeared is now a graveyard of structures, with nearly 15 of them scattered across the landscape. Some remain intact, while others have been altered or destroyed, possibly by a fire that passed through the area. What stands out most is a peculiar fire pit, one that has never been lit.
A couple random stones, brick, piece of old asphalt it looks like. A few pieces of wood, nothing's been burned. Nice sitting log, little piece of paper. Does it look like it's all ready to be lit?
Arranged in a near-perfect circle, stones, old asphalt, and bits of wood form the illusion of a human-made campsite. But the details tell a different story. A sitting log is positioned as if waiting for someone, and a small piece of paper is placed at the center, as though prepared to be burned. But there are no signs of ash, no scorch marks, nothing that suggests a real fire was ever started. It's as if someone, or something, is imitating human behavior without fully understanding it. Could this be another sign of mimicry? A symbolic recreation of something seen but never experienced? The mystery only deepens as more details emerge. Each discovery raises more questions than answers. These structures, whether intentional or coincidental, follow a pattern too distinct to ignore. Are they remnants of a lost human presence? Or do they belong to something far older, something hiding in plain sight? Whatever the answer, the forest holds its secrets well, and the search for truth continues. Sasquatch Omega is a YouTube channel dedicated to investigating the existence of Sasquatch across various parts of the United States, documenting compelling photographic and video evidence. With years of experience tracking elusive creatures deep in the wilderness, the channel presents first-hand encounters with strange structures, massive footprints, and vocalizations that defy explanation. Each investigation brings unexpected discoveries, and this particular night proves to be no exception. As the sun sets, the forest becomes alive with an eerie energy. The deeper they venture, the more signs emerge.
There's also shelters on this side because there's a mound and then a groove and then another mound right behind it. It's perfect. It's like military. precision.
Something is out there, and it's closer than ever before. The first signs of activity come in the form of tree bends and structures scattered throughout the dense woodland. Some branches appear unnaturally twisted and bent, as if shaped by hands rather than the forces of nature. These formations have been reported in Sasquatch encounters worldwide.
And then it's flat.
Yeah, maybe.
It's all right there.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well,
Whatever.
that's exactly what you need to do. You need to look for big, flat, and squish areas.
Believed to serve as markers, shelters, or even territorial warnings. As the team moves cautiously through the area, they stumble upon a fresh set of tracks embedded in the soft dirt. The footprints are large, with deep impressions that reveal distinct toe markings.
He left an incredible footprint. And where is it? There's another one.
Unlike typical human footprints, these have an evident midfoot break, a characteristic often linked to Sasquatch locomotion. The prints continue beyond a nearby fence, suggesting something massive stepped over it with ease. This discovery alone raises the stakes. Whatever made these tracks is close, and it might still be watching. Look closely as the camera zooms in.
Here we are. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Wait,
Oh my God.
is this the one that we already did?
No, we didn't come out this way.
this way.
Yeah, the other one
No,
was
no, no,
going...
no. Come on.
Revealing the fine details of the tracks that defy explanation. As the investigation progresses, the evidence becomes even more compelling. Another track, measuring an astonishing 17 inches, is found pressed deeply into the ground. A human foot is placed beside it for scale, and the difference is staggering. The depth of the impression suggests incredible weight, far beyond that of any known animal in the area. The toes are splayed, showing clear separation.
And it's covered with these leans. You could pull those leans back and walk right in there. Okay, now keep going. I'll look for prints too. I mean,
And another faint track appears nearby, supporting the idea that multiple individuals could be traveling together. Could this be a family unit moving through the woods under the cover of darkness? The thought alone is chilling. As the flashlight sweeps across the ground, the clearest footprint of the night is revealed, showcasing undeniable details that send a wave of excitement through the team. The contours of the toes, the curve of the foot, and the immense size of the print make it hard to dismiss as anything but genuine. Don't miss this moment as the footprint comes into view, offering one of the clearest pieces of evidence ever recorded.
Oh, yeah.
let me show you how to get into it.
Wow.
This whole trail is prints.
But the discoveries don't end there. As the team moves deeper into the woods, something even more puzzling comes into view. An enormous wall-like structure standing in the middle of nowhere. Thick branches and logs are jammed together, interwoven in a way that seems almost deliberate. It's as if someone, or something, constructed it with a purpose. The complexity of the structure rules out natural causes. Unlike debris scattered by floods or windstorms, these logs are wedged tightly together.
I guarantee you probably never would have come here, right? No one comes here. And so it's very strategic. We can go back inside if you want. Because this is a doorway.
Forming a barrier that stretches several feet high. This is no accident. The thought of Sasquatch being capable of building such formations is both fascinating and unsettling.
If I'm a Sasquatch, back up and see how big this is. There's still plenty of space.
If they are creating structures like this, what else are they capable of? The camera captures every detail, highlighting the sheer scale of the construction and the eerie precision with which it was made. Witness this incredible structure for yourself and decide, could this be the work of an intelligent, unseen presence lurking in the forest?
Big area. Obviously something really big could sit right in there. Let me get in there.
All right.
As the night unfolds, the tension builds. Every crack of a branch, every distant vocalization, and every sign of movement in the shadows adds to the growing sense of unease. with footprints, structures, and strange noises surrounding them. The team is left with more questions than answers. What else is watching from the darkness? Could Sasquatch be closer than anyone realizes? Each piece of evidence uncovered pushes the mystery further, challenging everything we know about the wild and the creatures that might inhabit it. The search for answers continues, and with each step deeper into the unknown, the legend of Sasquatch becomes harder to deny. Adirondacks is a YouTube channel famous for deep wilderness investigations, capturing strange and unexplainable encounters in the vast, untamed forests of the Adirondacks. The man behind the camera, Jonathan Rafferty, has spent years tracking what he believes to be an intelligent, elusive species. One that leaves behind footprints, vocalizations, and structures that defy simple explanations. Tonight's expedition is set deep in the wilderness, where he hopes to document more evidence of the creatures he suspects are watching from the shadows. The night is filled with tension as he presses forward, carefully navigating through snow-covered terrain. The goal is simple: leave offerings of apples and bananas in hopes of enticing something to interact. With a fresh snowfall blanketing the forest, any movement will leave tracks, making this the perfect opportunity to gather new evidence.
You know, I hate to have my head up and everything, because really honestly, like, they don't want to let light shine right in their eyeballs.
The deeper he moves into the wilderness, the more the landscape begins to feel untouched, as if no human has set foot there for a long time. It's the kind of place where something could be watching, something that doesn't want to be seen. The camera catches every step, every crunch of snow underfoot, and every flicker of movement in the dense trees surrounding him. Then, something unusual happens. A sound pierces through the night, echoing across the forest.
What a welcome treat that is. I mean, yeah, sure, they can find their own food. You know, cold, dead rabbit.
It's a bark, but not just any bark. At first, it resembles the sound of a house dog, but the location makes no sense. The noise is coming from the exact area where he was previously whistled at, raising immediate suspicion. Coyotes don't bark like this, and it doesn't fit the usual calls of wild animals in the region. Could this be something else? Something mimicking a dog? The thought alone is chilling.
I'm gonna have to free up a hand because I got a dog out here. I don't want to be fighting no dogs.
The camera captures the eerie stillness of the forest, the sound of the barking echoing through the trees, creating an atmosphere thick with uncertainty. Watch closely as the sound grows louder, creating a moment that will leave you questioning what truly roams these woods. As he moves forward, the situation becomes even more unsettling. There are fresh tracks in the snow, tracks that resemble those of a dog, yet something about them seems off. He follows them carefully, every step bringing him closer to the unknown. A decision has to be made. If this is truly a lost dog, he doesn't want to harm it. But if it's something else, something imitating the sound of a dog, what then?
They don't bark like that.
The air is heavy with anticipation, every shadow now holding the possibility of something lurking just beyond the reach of the flashlight. Strange things happen in the woods, and tonight is no exception. The tension is undeniable as the moment unfolds on camera. See for yourself as the tracks lead deeper into the wilderness, raising more questions than answers. The night takes an even stranger turn when he begins using vocalizations, hooting and calling out in an attempt to elicit a response. The wilderness has its own language, and sometimes calling out can stir the unknown. The reaction is unexpected. A powerful scream erupts from another mountaintop, far off in the distance. The sheer force of the sound sends a wave of adrenaline through the moment, as if something out there is responding. Is this a Sasquatch answering back? Or is it something else entirely?
Somebody's beagle running rabbits? Maybe that's what they're doing. Somebody's up here hunting rabbit. These dang beagle.
Whatever it is, it's large, distant, but undeniably real. The forest suddenly feels more alive, as if the night has shifted in an unexplainable way. Experience this moment as the scream echoes through the mountains, a sound that challenges everything we think we know about the deep wilderness. The expedition continues, with the realization that something is out here, moving in the same darkness. Whether it's a dog, a coyote, or something far more elusive, the night has delivered more than expected. The search isn't over, it's only just beginning. Every sound, every track, and every moment adds to the growing mystery of what truly resides in these remote regions. The evidence is mounting, and with each passing night, the line between legend and reality becomes thinner. What will be found next? Only time and the wilderness will tell. Desert Sasquatch is a YouTube channel famous for its relentless search for Bigfoot, uncovering eerie evidence deep in the wilderness. From massive footprints in the snow to distant screams, unexplainable chatter, and mysterious structures, the journey never ceases to deliver chilling discoveries.
I'm gonna stay the night, and I'm gonna do some filming at night. I've got all this stuff I need to use that I don't use.
Each expedition takes viewers through abandoned mines, hidden caves, and untouched forests, where the presence of something unknown lingers just beyond reach. This latest investigation pushes even further into the unknown, revealing structures that defy logic and suggest an intelligence at work. As the camera moves through the rugged terrain, something unusual stands out.
That rock area, a dang gifting zone, but it's just too damn far.
An odd structure made of branches and debris, carefully arranged as if it was built with a purpose. It's not a random pile of broken limbs. Instead, it has the shape of a shelter, something intentionally crafted. The more the investigator examines it, the more unsettling it becomes.
But even for me, it's creepy. Especially this time of day. Once it starts to get evening.
The broken ends of the branches appear fresh, as if this site has been recently used. The area itself is eerily silent, except for the occasional rustling in the distance. Could this be a Sasquatch nesting site, or is it something else entirely? See for yourself as the investigator carefully navigates around the strange formation, trying to determine if it was made by human hands or by something unknown.
See, I think that was probably some kind of a structure at one point. I don't know, maybe not.
Further into the investigation, the evidence continues to build. Another discovery sends chills down the investigator's spine. A massive pile of sticks and logs, deliberately arranged in what looks like a nest, or even a hidden entrance.
We need to look and see if that was like that before. I don't remember that. Okay, but it may be.
The precision of the placement suggests intelligence, something far beyond natural forces. This isn't just a random gathering of debris. It looks like a constructed space. If it was built as a hiding spot, then for whom or what? The eerie thought lingers as the camera captures every detail. There are no signs of human activity in the area. No logical reason for this pile to exist in such a remote location. The investigator can feel the weight of something watching, as if he has intruded on a space not meant to be discovered. The forest, once quiet, now feels alive with an unseen presence. Witness the chilling discovery as he examines the site, trying to determine its origin.
Found this what looks like a damn beaver den, but all the sticks are broken.
Moving deeper into the woods, the investigator reflects on how much his perception has changed over the years. Once a skeptic, he now finds himself unable to ignore the mounting evidence.
I think it was the start of one, but was never finished. You know, I'm not sure. I just know, I'm sure they need some kind of cover.
Winters in this region are brutal, making it nearly impossible to track anything for months at a time. But as the seasons shift, revealing the ground beneath, subtle signs begin to emerge. It's not just about footprints or tree structures anymore, it's about patterns. The more he uncovers, the harder it becomes to dismiss the idea that something intelligent is out here, actively avoiding detection.
I mean, deep. You get lost in here, you'll freeze to death.
Tracks disappear just before they should become clear. Structures appear in places no human would go. And strange sounds echo through the mountains, always just out of reach. What once seemed like folklore now feels like reality. Experience his thoughts as he pieces together years of findings and questions what else might be hidden in the vast wilderness.
So I think some of the areas closest to him have been scoured, but you can scour an area all you want, but you're still going to miss things.
Each exploration brings new discoveries, new questions, and new reasons to push forward. The structures, the movements, the eerie silence. There is something in these woods, something that has remained a mystery for centuries. But with every investigation, that mystery becomes just a little clearer. What will be found next? The answer lies ahead, waiting to be uncovered. Bigfoot Research is a YouTube channel famous for its ongoing investigations into the elusive creature, uncovering mysterious evidence deep in the Arizona wilderness. Led by Mitchell Waite and Susan Farnsworth, the team is determined to uncover the truth, and this latest discovery may be their most compelling yet. As they trek through rugged terrain, they stumble upon something that stops them in their tracks, a massive nest-like structure, carefully constructed.
Okay, everybody stand around it so we can get a size perspective.
You need to film this then.
And unlike anything they've seen before, the sheer size and design of it leave no doubt that something, or someone, built this with purpose. The nest is large enough for a human to fit inside.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a person could do this for a makeshift shelter, but I wouldn't want to sleep with the bugs. It's like people do tents.
This is a lot of effort.
You'd be all eaten up.
But it's not built like any typical shelter. It has a concealed entrance, branches pulled over to form a cover, making it blend seamlessly into the environment. It's almost as if it was designed to be hidden.
That was an individual spot over there.
Yeah.
And this looks like an individual spot over
Maybe they
here.
have different, like, lookouts or something? Okay, you over there and you over here. And...
Well, this...
The team examines its structure closely, noting how the entrance appears to be intentionally covered to provide protection from the elements or from prying eyes. They stand around it, trying to get a sense of its scale, and the reality of their discovery begins to sink in. This is not a random pile of debris. This is a shelter, one that appears deliberately designed. See for yourself as they uncover this incredible find.
It doesn't fan out very much bigger, but it does a little. I still think this is still under construction.
Questioning what kind of creature could have built it. Determined to get a closer look, the team inches forward. The nest is not just an exterior shell. It has depth. The inside is partially hollowed out, with layers of debris placed with clear intention.
And there are sticks in here that have been propped up on the sides.
It's not entirely finished, as if something has been adding to it over time, adjusting and expanding it. The team debates whether this could be an unfinished construction, possibly used seasonally or still being worked on. If it was meant for warmth, its compact design would make perfect sense, retaining heat in colder months. But that only raises more questions. Why go through so much effort to build this out here, in the middle of nowhere? The level of detail suggests intelligence, something that understands shelter building beyond simple survival instincts.
I'm too wide in the shoulders to get further in. So whatever it is smaller than me.
The possibility that this nest was crafted by an unknown creature becomes harder to ignore. Watch as the team analyzes the structure, considering its purpose and what kind of being might use it. The mystery deepens as one of the investigators decides to crawl inside.
We're going to go down and take a look inside. It's got a door to it, too.
Yeah.
Armed with an infrared camera, he pushes forward, peering into the darkness. The interior is tighter than expected, but it extends back further than it initially appeared. The walls are lined with carefully placed sticks, reinforcing the idea that this is more than just a random formation. Then, something catches his eye.
It's moving?
Yeah, it's
You
moving.
might want to, like...
Might want to vacate.
Yeah.
Oh, it's looking at me now.
A dark shape lingers at the far end of the nest. It's small, barely visible, but it moves. A wave of unease washes over the team as the realization hits. Something is inside. The investigator tries to make sense of what he's seeing, but the camera struggles to capture the details. Whatever it is, it's watching him. He knows he's intruding on something's space, and for a brief moment, there's an eerie silence. Then, with a cautious retreat, he backs out.
I think I'll back out.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Leaving the mysterious occupant undisturbed. What was in there? Was it an animal taking shelter, or something more? Witness this tense moment as the team processes what they just encountered. With every discovery, the evidence continues to grow. The snapped branches, the carefully placed materials, the hidden design of the nest. Each detail adds another piece to the puzzle. The Arizona wilderness holds secrets that have yet to be uncovered, and with every step forward, the mystery of Bigfoot only deepens. What else might be out here just beyond the reach of the camera lens? The search continues. Western NY Sasquatch Research is a YouTube channel dedicated to unraveling the mysteries hidden deep within the forests of Western New York. A brother and sister duo lead this mission with a no-nonsense approach, determined to find the truth behind Sasquatch and other cryptids that may roam the land. Their investigations take them to rural areas, nature preserves, and Native American reservations, where they search for clues that might prove the existence of these elusive beings. Unlike others, they refuse to waste time on misinformation, instead sharing only what they genuinely uncover. Their findings suggest that these creatures are not only real, but may be more intelligent and organized than most believe. The latest journey brings them to a remote mountain as a storm rolls in. The investigator is so focused on navigating the terrain that they don't immediately realize they've lost their way. Without a functioning GPS, they rely on natural landmarks to find their way back. As the sky darkens, the sense of being watched intensifies. Strange shapes emerge from the shadows, figures that seem to be moving between the trees. The camera picks up what appears to be a Sasquatch walking, and another figure peeking from behind a tree. If it's a juvenile, it makes sense that the larger one would track every move, ensuring the safety of its young. More dark shapes shift in the background, almost blending into the thick forest. The investigator starts to recognize the distinct voices among the sounds, almost as if they are different individuals communicating. This isn't just random noise, it's something intelligent observing, responding, and waiting. Watch closely as these figures subtly move through the trees, barely visible but undeniably present. As the search continues, the feeling of being watched becomes overwhelming. The investigator acknowledges the presence of something unseen, speaking into the forest, not with fear, but with curiosity and respect. They leave small gifts, hoping to establish trust. A few pieces of fruit, nuts, and a mix of snacks placed carefully on a log. This isn't the first time they've done this, and the results are always unpredictable. Sometimes the offerings disappear without a trace. Other times they're moved or rearranged, almost as if something has taken them but left a subtle message behind. The atmosphere grows heavy with an unspoken energy. There are noises, faint and distant, but real. Footsteps? Maybe. A low hum vibrates through the air, unnatural and unexplainable. Then, something in the distance moves, too far to identify but impossible to ignore. The forest holds its secrets tightly, but the investigator is determined to find the truth. Watch as the moment unfolds, an eerie encounter with something just beyond reach. A fresh tree break comes into view, one that appears unnatural. These signs are scattered throughout Sasquatch hotspots, often thought to be territorial markers or a form of communication. This particular break looks older, but it's still significant. The investigator takes a moment to examine it, questioning whether it was done recently or if time has worn it down. These beings seem to manipulate the environment to their advantage, shaping their surroundings in ways that aren't always immediately obvious. As the investigator stands in the quiet, an unsettling hum cuts through the air again. It's low, almost mechanical, yet it blends with the natural sounds of the woods. The question lingers, what is making that noise? Is it something biological? Or could it be connected to something else entirely? The feeling of unseen eyes watching remains, creating an eerie tension that refuses to fade. Something is out there, and it's aware of the presence of an outsider. Watch as the investigator processes these strange occurrences, trying to make sense of the unexplainable. Colorado. Bigfoot is a YouTube channel dedicated to uncovering the mysteries of the unseen world. With over 73.9K subscribers and more than 1.7K videos, the channel dives deep into the search for Bigfoot, documenting compelling evidence that raises questions about what truly exists in the remote wilderness. The man behind the channel has spent years exploring the most secluded regions, capturing footage that challenges conventional understanding. This is one of those journeys, an encounter that stands out among all the rest.
Oh my God. Wait for this. Well, this confirms everything, John. I mean, this is just unbelievable.
Deep within the vast forests of Colorado, the air was thick with anticipation.
Until this happens. I gotta get a video that no one else in the world can do, okay? And what did I just do?
The camera lens focused, capturing something rare. Something that, according to him, no one else had ever managed to document quite like this. "Oh my God, wait for this. This confirms everything," he murmured, his voice filled with restrained excitement. He knew that in this moment he might have recorded something irrefutable. For years he had been on this quest, pushing himself to get the one video that no one else could. And now, it seemed, he had it.
Look at that. Oh my God, you guys. I have like goosebumps inside my body just for myself of seeing that.
As he zoomed in, the weight of the moment settled in. "Look at that," he whispered.
That's a giant. Oh my God. It's all seats. Do you know what I mean? Like, you guys, I think so.
I have goosebumps just seeing this myself. The realization hit. This was no ordinary footage. It was something different.
People take it for granted what you're seeing. Nobody else in the world is going to show you that to you. Is it because it's me? No, but it's where I live.
Something that couldn't be dismissed easily. He acknowledged that many might take these sightings for granted, but he didn't. He knew the rarity of what he had captured. Nobody else in the world is going to show you this. Because it's me. Because it's where I live. This is what I do.
I see it. You guys, look, they are...
Moving deeper into the forest, he sensed an unseen presence. One that had deliberately led him away before. "They don't want me seeing this," he muttered, recalling past experiences where he had felt an inexplicable force guiding him away.
Here's the thing. They didn't bring me over here. They don't want me seeing this.
I did.
I see how I missed it. I must see this stuff you cannot see. I've been as close as real close.
This time, however, he had caught something. The footage didn't rely on whistling sounds or vague shapes. It was clear. The silence was even more telling. He and his companion had their food out, expecting movement.
Must have went up. I got super zapped. They brought me away from this. They weren't whistling. We had the Jays come in. They just came in, looked at us, and left. Not one sound.
But what they got was something different, a silent observation. Whatever was out there had made its presence known without making a single sound.
In need of just a little bit more of a push. I'm not trying. What is that? What do I gain by? So anyway, look at this.
Examining an ancient trident-shaped tree structure, he speculated on its origins. If the wood on that trident was tested, it would be impossible to accurately date. It's been here for centuries, maybe even longer.
Trident was tested. I mean, it's impossible to really date. You have to take all the conditions. Remember, they rarely see water here. I mean, this thing is hundreds and hundreds. I would say on it can't be any younger than 500.
The dry conditions preserved it in a way that defied typical decay. This tree was part of their world. They make these structures when they're little, and they last. His words carried a certainty built on years of experience.
If I say 1,000, it seems long, but obviously it's been moved since. But this tree has been...
A belief that the patterns and structures found in these forests weren't just random. They were intentional.
Oh, they're just popping in right there. Look, congregation, they all hang out here.
Pausing, he introduced John, a seasoned observer from the UK who had spent years studying similar phenomena. Most of you know John. He doesn't seek attention. He just documents what he finds. John, a railroad supervisor.
So let me just introduce John for those of you that do not know. Most of you do. John's famous in energy overload. He's
had encountered inexplicable occurrences in different parts of the world, yet nothing quite compared to what they were seeing now.
Doesn't seek attention, doesn't put it on YouTube, nothing. So most of the people watching know who John is, but if you don't, he's from the UK.
He's one of the hardest workers I know, he added, emphasizing John's dedication to understanding.
To there, I think. But I never saw any of that stuff. Did you see the way that looked?
Yep.
What lay beyond the ordinary, what they discovered next, was unlike anything before. It's like an elevator, just moving. The way the environment shifted before their eyes was unsettling. It wasn't just about footprints or structures.
Exactly, mate. It's like an elevator. Porter.
No, I meant that. The trident.
There was a pattern to the way things moved. He struggled to put it into words, but the footage spoke for itself. Insane. Just walk, he muttered, still processing what he was witnessing.
Watch this. Without over-editing, trying to zoom and play it, just when I replay this, just watch right there. You can watch him. He closes his eyes.
Zooming in on a specific point, he noticed movement. Watch this. He closes his eyes, he pointed out.
I'm so sorry.
So if you watch, you can see he'll blink or close his eyes. There's also clearly one right...
It wasn't just one figure, there were two. There's another one, right on the other side of the tree. You can see him too. He enhanced the view just enough to make it clear. I knew it.
On the other side of the tree too, you can see as well. I'll just do a quick zoom so you can tell. But yeah, there's two of them right there. I knew, so...
He's the one hitting me with the big-time energy, he said, referring to the overwhelming sensation he often experienced in these encounters. This wasn't just about seeing something, it was about feeling it.
In the mud or something. I've filmed, 5,000 impressions if they're actually real footprints. Bone.
He had filmed thousands of impressions over the years, but what they found that day was different.
Wow. Smiley tit.
Look at these footprints, he said, crouching down to examine them. These weren't ordinary tracks. The depth, the shape, the sheer size.
You're not by any chance zooming on a tree, are you?
Zooming on them, mate, over there.
It all pointed to something large, something powerful. These are real footprints.
Because we're leaving, they're all starting to come on now. Waiting for us to go.
Bone structure, weight distribution. You can see it all right here.
But I really wasn't kidding. What's wrong with you? Try doing this. Try being by yourself.
Standing alone, he spoke to the camera, addressing those who doubted the existence of what he was documenting. Try doing this. Try standing in front of something unknown every day of your life, filming it, knowing it's watching you just as much as you're watching it.
Standing in front of aliens, filming them every single day of your life. You know, sometimes I know he's over there invisible, so I'm going to show him to you, right? But I do it.
His voice carried the weight of experience, the countless hours spent in isolation, searching for answers that most people never even thought to ask.
Don't have to come back, but look. Can you see that thing? That mushroom was like crazy looking.
He turned his attention to something peculiar. That mushroom. Look at it. It's different, like nothing I've ever seen before. The forest was filled with anomalies, subtle but significant.
That thing looks... Are you serious? Who's your good boy?
These details, seemingly minor on their own, built a bigger picture. Are you serious? That thing is strange. Did it die? These are worth money. They're rare.
You don't have to see it. It's right there in front of you. He's here. The whole ground moved underneath me.
Then something happened. The ground beneath him shifted, not in a dramatic way, but just enough to make his heart race. The whole ground moved underneath me, he said. Not like an earthquake. It was different.
But not like a stomp. Like it was like an accident. Yes, look at this. This is the only place in the world, like I think that where you can find their petrified structures. Like
he scanned the area, knowing that whatever was causing this wasn't visible, at least not in a way that human eyes could easily perceive. As the day came to an end, he reflected on what had just transpired. Listen to me. This is legit. His voice was steady, but the emotion was evident.
I have more worlds, real worlds of Sasquatch than anyone in the world.
Look at that. You see it, right? He turned the camera towards the evidence, letting the footage speak for itself. This is what we came for. And now, you've seen it too. The search continues. The unseen world remains just beyond reach, waiting for those willing to step into the unknown.
Sorry, you little guy. Hey, listen to me. Listen to me.
Got a legit. It's a legit one.
It's legit, family.
Yeah. Look at that.
So, what do you think? Is this the most convincing Bigfoot evidence yet? Or is there another explanation hiding in plain sight? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the unknown, make sure to like and subscribe for more investigations into the world's greatest mysteries. Until next time, keep exploring, because the truth is out there.